everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet these cute and simple patriotic African flower coasters. Now, they're shaped like a pentagon. They have 5 sides and 5 points. And I originally made them in the patriotic colors, but they look great in just about any colors. And this one with the bright colors has kind of a tropical feel, don't you think? Well, you can find this crochet pattern on my blog, and I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. The coaster measures about 4.5 inches across. So it's a nice size coaster. Fit most of your mugs and cans and bottles and glasses. And I have chosen to make them out of cotton yarn. Now, if you're just making them for decoration, or maybe just to protect your table and you're not going to put anything on them that sweats, acrylic yarn would be okay. I just prefer cotton, just in case I put a glass of iced tea and it sweats down the side of the glass. The cotton can absorb that moisture. I'm going to be making one similar to this one. I'm going to have yellow in the middle, and then the next color is going to be red, then white, and end with blue, just to make it a little bit different. But I'm going to stick with the patriotic theme for the demonstration. Of course, you can choose any colors that you want to, and it just takes a small amount of different cotton yarns. These are all peaches and cream cottons, but you can use any cotton yarn that you have on hand as long as it's a medium number 4. You're going to need a needle to weave in those ends, and you'll need scissors, of course. And we're going to be stitching today with our H hook. This is a 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. Go grab your supplies, and we'll get started. We'll be starting in the center of the coaster and then working our way out. We're going to begin with a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 5 chains. We're going to join this chain 5 into a circle. So we'll put our tail of yarn over our hook and pull it through the loop. We'll snug that down, and then we'll tie that stay knot that keeps our chain 5 from coming undone. We'll put our hook in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2, and then we're going to chain 2. Now, you'll notice that I'm stitching over this tail of yarn. That's so that when I finish row 1, I can pull on this tail and close that hole up. All right, now we have 3 double crochets because our chain 3 counted as our first, and chain 2. And we need to make 4 more sets of 3 double crochet, chain 2. So we have a total of 5 sets. Three double crochet, chain 2. Three double crochet, chain 2. There's 3 sets. Now we need to get 2 more in here. Three double crochets, chain 2, and then 1 more set. We need to squeeze right in that chain 5. All right, so there's our 3, 1, 2, and 2 chains. We'll join to the top of this chain 3. And then I want you to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 3 double crochets with chain 2s in between. And that's our row 1. Now I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to gently pull on this tail of yarn, and that's going to close that hole up. Now, it doesn't have to be completely closed, just as much as you would like. And then we'll just take our needle and weave that in. And we can go ahead and take care of this, and then we don't have to worry about it later. Because with changing colors every row, we're definitely going to have a lot of weaving in to do. Alright, so row 1 is 5 sets of 3 double crochets with chain 2s in between. Before we change colors, we're going to slip stitch in the top of these double crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, and then we'll cut our yarn. Alright, now we're going to join in our second color. Now, if you want to make yours all one color, you can, and you won't have to change colors here. Alright, so I'm going to bring in my red, snug that down, get that tail out of the way, and then we're going to go right in this chain 2 space, make sure that loop's snug down, and chain 3. This chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 3 double crochets, 1 and 2, because our chain 3 counted as our first. Then we stitch 2 more, chain 2, then we'll stitch 3 more double crochets in that same chain 2 space. And then we'll chain 1. And this is what we're going to do on each one of these chain 2 spaces. So we'll go to the next chain 2 space and we'll stitch 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, and chain 1. So now we have 2 corners done, and we have 3 more to do. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and chain 1. Three double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then we'll repeat that on these last 2 so that we have 5 sets of 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1. I've completed my last 2 corners, and each corner should have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1. And you should have 5 corners. I joined to the top of the chain 3, and then I slip stitched over to the chain 2 space, and now I'm going to cut my yarn and bring in my third color. And again, if you're not changing colors here, then you don't have to. Alright, now for row 3 we're going to be doing single crochets around. And we're going to begin by stitching 3 single crochets in this chain 2 space. So we'll go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops. Now this first one, let's make sure we snug that down. Alright, let's stitch 2 more. So we have 3 single crochets in the chain 2 space. Now we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of these 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. We'll stitch 1 single crochet in the chain 1 space, and then we'll stitch 1 single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. So we stitched 1 single crochet in those next 3 double crochets. Brings us to our next chain 2 space, and so we'll stitch 3. 1, 2, 3 single crochets, And then we'll just repeat around what we did here. 1 single crochet in the 3 double crochets. Our red's wanting to come back out there. 1 single crochet in the chain 1 space, 1 single crochet in the 3 double crochets. And then we'll stitch 3 single crochets in the chain 2 space. And we'll continue to work this all the way around. 1 single crochet in the double crochets, single crochet in the chain 1 space, 1 single crochet in the double crochets, and 3 single crochets in the chain 2 space. We'll work this all the way around and join back to our first single crochet. I've stitched my single crochets all the way around, making sure I put 3 single crochets in each of the 5 corners. And now I'm going to join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch, and again I'm going to cut my yarn. And my last color I'm joining in is this blue. And now we're just going to add that cute little trim. And the way we do that is we chain 3, we skip the next stitch and slip stitch in the next. Chain 3, skip the next stitch and slip stitch in the next. And we do this all the way around our coaster. It doesn't matter if you're on the side or on the point of the corner, you just keep working all the way around, chain 3, skip 1 and slip stitch in the next. And that gives you this nice little ruffled edge. Now, if you don't like the ruffled edge, you can always just add another row of single crochet, or you can leave it as is. I just like the little ruffled edge. I think it gives it just a little bit of funness. Is that a word? Funness. All right, so chain 3, skip the next stitch and slip stitch in the next, working all the way around our coaster. I've completed my ruffly or curly or lacy edge, whatever you want to call that. And one thing, when you get to the end, you may have an extra stitch or you might have one less. And so just go ahead and join it in. It's not going to matter if you've got one extra stitch or one less stitch. I've already cut my yarn. And yes, we have a lot of weaving in to do. And so we're just going to thread that on our needle and weave that in. But this is the way that your coaster should look. So here's the 3 coasters, the 2 that we made previously, and then this one that we made together. So you can make them patriotic or any colors that you want to. You can do variegated stripes, whatever colors that you want. And I think it's a great way to use up your leftover cotton yarns to make something pretty and useful. And they're the perfect size for your coffee cup or any cup that you want to set on them.